What's poppin', everybody? Welcome to another video. This is going to be a strategy video talking about why trading was so hard until I understood this one key concept. And the key concept that I'm going to be talking to you guys about today is going to be the idea of base hits. Now, you may be wondering, what are base hits? What is that? What is that strategy? Why do I do that? Base hits is essentially just not trying to aim for such big high risk to reward trades. Like, it's very simple. It's not very difficult to comprehend. You're just not holding your trades for so long. You're taking 10 to 15 points, you're getting a 1 to 2 R, and you're getting out. It's as simple as that. And the idea of base hits has really dramatically helped me improve my profitability, improve my trading, and improve my win rate. And now you may argue that, but I want to have a high risk to reward. High risk rewards are better. I think, just based off of my opinion, my statistics, and what I have been proven by myself and other people that I know, having a higher risk to reward versus a higher win rate versus a high risk to reward when it comes to trading prop firms is a lot more sustainable and a lot better, because when you have a higher risk to reward, lower win rate type of system, you take 3-4 losses in a row, that could easily throw you off your game and end up blowing the account. If you trade with a 40 to 50% win rate, you can go on a pretty bad losing streak, still be profitable, if you're trading on a live account. But when it comes to trading prop firms, it is a lot more difficult to sustain that. When you are aiming for bases and you have a higher win rate, when your systems are, when you're winning a lot more, you're meeting your consistency targets, you're getting your winning days, you're doing all this stuff a lot easier, and it takes a lot of the stress out of trading, because the longer you hold trades, the more your mental capital will decrease, and also it just makes it a lot more stressful, especially when you may be copy trading, playing with larger amounts of capital and things like that. So I'm going to be going over my just statistics when it comes to going for 1-to-1 to 1.5 R. I'm using TradeZella's backtesting software. Again, I'm not affiliated, but they do have a very good program. This is what my statistics look like. I did go on a pretty bad losing streak between May and June, but we are getting that back up. So I'm averaging 63.5% win rate. First 2 months over 70. Take a little decline. We're working to get that back up. But I'm going to be going over some of the trades that I did take within these periods, the risk to rewards I was aiming for, and just showing you everything. I'm going to also be back testing with this, showing you guys some of the trades that I am aiming for and that I have been taking. So let's go and just see what this trade was. Look at this, 10 points. Very simple. All you need. 10 points, as y'all see here, I traded off an inversion. Now, I do trade a more discretionary system, which essentially just means that I'm not always trading the same copy and paste type of model. I am trading based off of my market experience, and I'm stacking different confluences that I know work for me, that I know work over time, and that I have experience with. So, like I said, 10 points. That's all I took this trade for. 1 minute inversion is what it looks like on NQ. 1 minute inversion, plus we got the change in the state with this candle right here. Take off at the internal low. Yes, we did end up going lower eventually, but for me, I like to preserve my mental capital, and this trade would have ended up coming back and stopping me at break even, as you can see. Because let's just say we took this internal low here, I then went break even from that, and I'm looking to hold to this external low. Would have been break even, price would have ended up stopping me out, and then running to my profit target, which is just, it's not as reliable and it's not as consistent when you're trying to aim for bigger moves, because you can guarantee, a 10-point move will happen every day, but you can't guarantee a 100 to 200-point move is going to happen on a daily basis. We do have days where we're less consistent, we have less volume, and the market is just not in favor. So you don't want to always try to predict these super high moves. You just want to take what's given, take what's guaranteed, because at the end of the day, nothing is guaranteed but you want to take what has the highest probability, and these are the trades that have the highest probability. So that's the first trade I took from July 1st, 2021. Let's see how this trade played out. Look, 9.5 points. Very simple, short as well. This one looks like a 1 minute change in the state. I took this off of this hidden drawdown for some time, but I did end up taking out the external low. And as you can see, once I did close, chop around, we do end up going lower, but I would have been stopped out at break even again. And all of this stuff is really just to prevent me from getting stopped at break even. Excuse me. Because a lot of the times when I'm aiming for these higher risk to rewards, I would go break even at the internal low, meaning it won't be a loss, but it will be a break even trade, which For me, for my statistics, for myself personally, I like to have my money as guaranteed as possible, just because of the fact that the money is not guaranteed. So I want to give myself the highest chances to succeed and the highest chances to beat prop firms. And I think that when you are getting break even a lot, it just depletes your mental capital, and it also gives you a lot more. It makes you a lot more prone to possibly crashing out on the charts, a lot more prone to tilt, because you might get break even 2 or 3 times after seeing you were up, $1,000 or whatever the number may be. You might see that you're up in profit, and then that gets stopped out. You then get attached to the money. You then want to make that money back, even though it was unrealized and never went into your pocket, but you still are missing that money because you were eventually up at one point. So you want to make it back, and this just might prone you to possibly revenge trading and all this other stuff. Yes, we did end up going lower, but I like to take those guaranteed to avoid all of that extra nonsense that comes with it. And that is really it. I'm going to go over, where I'm going to take some trades with you guys and show you guys how I manage them on a back testing basis. So let's get into it. I'm going to reset. Let's go to the next day. I always like to trade after the first 15-minute candle has closed from market open, just because of the fact that I think that it gives me the highest probability to take the best setups, because the market has kind of already gotten all of the, noise out of the way with the first 15 minutes. That's where you often see the manipulation, and then you see that next 15-minute candle following will oftentimes give you the actual move that you are willing and that you need to see. So right now I'm going to mark out my draws and liquidity. We do have pretty strong momentum to the downside. However, this does look like we're going to put in an SMT at this low, but ES is also still trailing to the downside, so we are going to probably still see lower, even though we are about to flush through this low. And I want to see where we're at on the overall higher time frame, daily volume imbalance as well. Ooh, see if we have news or anything like that. 8:30 news, that was it. So we are clear. Let's see what we can do. Let's go to 15 minute. Very, very strong sell-off here. We do still have sell side resting. I think from here I would want to see price really rebalance before trading lower. Now, will we do that? It's a little hard to predict. I need to really see whether or not this 1 minute is going to hold or not. If we continue to hold this 1 minute, we're probably just going to go to take this low, and then I'll probably try to take some type of possible just scalp reversal just to catch a couple points. But let's see how it goes. Okay, we are getting that rebalance that I did want to see. Now we are tapping into this order block, which is really the highest point where I would want to see price go. Now it does look like we're about to put in an SMT with the ES at this overall external high. Price is now pulling back into this 5 minute. But one thing to note also is that we did leave these triple stacked highs right here. So if price does decide to go higher, that is a possible target. And this is also the importance of just being able to have a very neutral bias and being able to pivot. Being flexible with your bias, being flexible with what you want to see, be able to pivot. Let's go back to here. Let's see what we're going to get. We have a 30-second inversion right here. I would like to see price go lower. ES did leave a relative equal high, which I do not like though. Did we put in like an SMT? Nothing really, so I would have rather ES made slightly more of a push, but we'll see how it goes. So we did just open up on all of these gaps, so I want to see what happens from here. Okay, so price has pushed higher. We have an SMT now at that high. My favorite trade would be if we close through this 2 minute, which we did just get. So I am now going to go for my 1-to-1. Now, yes, I do expect price to go and breach all of these lows here, but I'm going to be looking to take a majority of my profit off at a 1-to-1R. We have an SMT at this internal high here. See if there's any gaps I can possibly play off of here as well. Ooh, we did not close through the 3 minutes. I'm gonna close this actually. I'm gonna wait for us to close fully through the 3 minute gap before I actually enter my trade. You always want to make sure that you're waiting for the highest time frame gap to get closed through before you take your entry. So let's wait for the 3 minute. The 3 minute did not get closed through. See that? We just avoided a loss. We are respecting the 5 minute order block. price might want to continue higher. Now, for me to really see price continue higher, I'll probably look to see this 1 minute get close through here. Okay, we did just close to that 1 minute. See if ES has any higher targets. Not really. We did close to the 5 minute here. Have these resting highs. I would probably rate this like a B setup. We just get that inversion after respecting the 5 minute gap. We have the 930 opening high right here. That does look like price may want to go and take that, but there is an S&T. I think I'm probably just gonna stay out. Honestly, I'm gonna just wait. I think that this could play out, at least for the 1-to-1, like I said. We'll just mark it up and see what happens. I'll probably have my stop loss around here. 1-to-1 would be right here. So mark it up and see what happens, but I don't think that it's something that I'm super confident in, so I'm not going to take it. If anything, see if this 3 minute is going to get invalidated. Which looks like it's going to. Okay, 3 minute gets closed through now. Nothing really against this trade at this point. We are looking like we're closing through this 5 minute as well. I think I can be confident enough with this setup right here. So I'm going to slap back short. Same type of, I guess, game plan here. I don't really expect price to come back and revisit this high, so I can be a little bit more aggressive with my stop loss as well and aim for that 1-to-1. Realistically, though, I might look to take off slightly beneath a 1-to-1 because this is probably my highest. Why are we not loading? Okay. You always want to look at where price is most likely to reject from, and we do have an order block here, but so let's just see. Should I get that one? Okay, that's close enough. We do have an unfilled 5 minute beneath us that I'm going to keep in mind as well. I'm going to look to be very aggressive here with my trailing stop. Now we did just tap into that, and now my stop loss above to this 1 minute. I do want to see us reject from here though. We can continue with the rejection. That would be nice. ES did close through that gap, and there you can see we did get through and meet all of the targets. Simple as that. It's always better. You have to understand this. You're never going to catch the top and the bottom of any type of move. You're always going to leave money on the table. The market will always move in either direction where you want to see price go, whether you're in a long or a short. The market will always continue to move, so you do not want to cry over the fact that I missed out. I'm not going to cry over the fact that I just missed out on an extra 26 points. I still ended up profiting whatever that was, like $7,000 on that trade. Now this is demo. Let me tell y'all again, this is backtesting. This is not my actual bank account, but this was a $50,000 account that I have now made 100% return on my investment through with very conservative risk. I have not been risking crazy. I have been slowly upping my risk as time goes on, but as y'all seen in the equity curve, I'll go back and show y'all right quick. I don't have a dramatic increased spike in my P&L. Like, I'm trading very conservatively, prioritizing my risk or my risk management. As I can see, I did go on a little losing streak, but nothing to where I'm just instantly making 20 grand in a day, or I'm making any insane absurd numbers. Like, everything that I'm making or losing is relatively within the same realm. As I can see, average win to loss is damn near the same. So I am very conservative with how I trade. I do not want to OD with my risk or risk too little. I like to keep it at a nice medium, and that's what I just did right there. So that was that. Let's go on to the next day. I'll probably do this for like 5 days and see how we do, and just walk you guys through my thought process and everything about it. The reason, actually, let me do a trade recap for that trade. Let's recap that before we get on to the next day, so y'all can really understand my thought process and everything. So okay, we made $6,600 on this trade. Now, the reason I ended up taking this trade was because of the fact that we had an S&T at this high with ES. That was the first thing. We had the S&T. From there, price rejecting off of this 5 minute order block here. We are also respecting this 5 minute proportion block, I think this is called, when you bounce off of the block of a wick. From there, we got the 5 minute changing this still. We also had the inversion for a value gap that we were previously respecting, which is also something that you can play off of. Now, this is something that I have been kind of using more recently. I don't really speak about, but when you have a fair value gap that is first getting respected and then we end up flipping it, oftentimes 9 times out of 10 you will see price end up going in whatever direction. It's the same for, let's say we get an inversion, for example. If you see an inversion fail, 9 times out of 10 we are going to continue in the direction of wherever we failed to go. So let's just say we closed through this like on the 2 minute. Well, this is actually a bad example because it failed, but you see we closed through this 2 minute gap right here. We ended up revisiting, pushing higher. Oftentimes this will work. Now the reason this didn't work is because of the SMT, and that's why I did not take this trade. You also want to make sure that you're using common sense. If there's an SMT, if there's a reason to not take a trade, do not take it, and that's exactly why I did not take this long, because of this SMT. But yes, I waited, got a 3 minute inversion after we had failed to swing higher. We also had the SMT and a lot of sell side that I wanted to see get breached, and that is exactly what we got for a 33-point short. Now, you will not see moves this volatile on a daily basis. You will not see the market push, well, dump, or for example, 100 points, push 100 points back in the opposite direction, and then dump another 100 points again. You will not see this every day, which is why I'm not really pressed about catching the top and bottom of the move. I'm not pressed on, the extra couple points that I missed out on, just because of the fact that days like this are not guaranteed. What is guaranteed, though, is those 10, 20, 30-point moves. Those are days that you are a lot more likely to get versus, 150 points. You're not likely to get that every day. That's also something I want you to remind yourself and keep in mind, which is what I think separates people that trade this successfully versus the ones that don't, because people that don't trade this successfully oftentimes get greedy. You get stuck in your head and you're fixated on the money that you could have made or the money that you should have, possibly held to, but like, that's not your money. The market's going to continue to move. You might 1 in 100 times top and bottom tick, but it is very rare that you do. So stop stressing about it. I'm going to walk you guys through what I'm seeing right here now. Excuse me, looks like we're above all-time highs. We are bouncing off this daily volume imbalance, so probably gonna, look to go higher. This is a Friday though, so I'm gonna be a little bit more cautious with my risk. We do have a red folder this morning, but not really nothing too crazy. We have an unfilled hourly gap up here that we do have an SMT with. I'm gonna mark it out as just potential buy side. We do have an SMT though, but ES still does have buy side as well. ES also inversed that hourly gap. 4 hour one more time. Rejecting off the 4 hour. We're also rejecting off the daily, but we did meet consequent encouragement. So I'm going to be kind of neutral bias here. Honestly, I think we can go either way based off where the market is at. Ooh. We are respecting this 15-minute gap. I have a lot of sell side beneath this. Oh, a lot of sell side beneath this. I think I'm going to be leaning more bearish, actually. This honestly wouldn't even be a terrible place to short at, especially if we can come back up and resweep these highs. So I think that's what I'm going to look for. We do have an SMT here, but I'm not really going to mind it just based off of all of these sell side that we have. Price possibly going to come back into this 1 minute, so I want to see what we do from here. Ooh. I damn near might just slap it right there off that reaction off the 15-minute wick as well. We did close through. I think I'm going to take my short right there. I do like that. And I'm going to run my stop loss at this wick high. I really wouldn't want to see us revisit that. Looks like I can maybe target this internal order right here. Let's see what we do. There we go. TP hit. As I can see, very quick, very simple trading. You're just using context. You are not trying to add a whole bunch of things. I'm not trying to do the most. I am taking what's given, and that's it. I'm not being greedy. I'm not trying to catch all of this sell side here, because it's not even guaranteed that we take it all. We might. It is very possible, but it's not guaranteed. And as you can see, where I took my profit at, we're now starting to see some turmoil here. Prices starting to hesitate. So I like to just get out where it is most likely, especially on days like a Friday when market is not always expected to move the best. So we are 2 for 2. Let's go on to the next day. And I'm also using logic. Let me actually go back before I even, oh, I didn't. Let Let me go back to Friday right quick so I can see something. I'm using logic with my trades. I am not like a lot of times you'll hear it put a stop loss at a swing high or a swing low. The reason I put my stop loss at this wick high is because of where we're rejecting from. We are rejecting off of a bearish period. We look at the 15-minute. We already closed through this 15-minute gap. Pay attention to the time that it is. It is the macro opening up, and we have this very weak 15-minute wick that is trading out of a 15-minute bearish fair value gap. So when you see a wick like this is known as a death wick. A lot of times, instant reversal will follow it. Very, very likely. And we have that same exact thing right here. So what are we going to do? Bet on the fact that this high should be protected because we're coming out of a bearish gap. Respecting the order block, whatever you want to call it. It is a bearish PD array. We're respecting off somewhere that should be bearish, we should react from. And it is the macro time. We should see speed and volatility straight to the TP. Exactly what we got. 13 points, all I need. Especially once you think about the scalability. Once you start stacking profits, you get 5, 10, 20, 30 accounts. This method will be very, very effective because now you're not just making $500 to $1,000 on one account. You're making $500 to $1,000 across 20, 30 accounts. Now you're having $20,000, $30,000 days. Like, you have to think about the long-term perspective of it as well. But like I said, let's go on to the next day, see where we're at. This is a Monday. Do we have news today? No news Monday. Red folder tomorrow. I'm honestly probably not even going to look to trade, but we'll see. See if we have anything that looks worth it. Did just sweeps a 4-hour sell side. Let's see what ES has done. Low SMT at 15-minute lows. SMT right here, something to keep in mind. It's got a 15-minute change in the state. Price is yet to rebalance to, actually we have. Price is balanced out, so we can honestly see either direction at this point. I am going to be very patient. It is a no news Monday. We do have these little stacked highs here. That is something that price can possibly trade up to. Pulling back on the 5-minute right now. We get this close to the 2-minute. I'll probably look to short it. Honestly, might just look for 10 points. Now that we just got that very strong push through. I'm going to also lower my risk because it is a no news Monday. And based off this reaction, I'm probably just going to run my stop loss at this high. I am going to go for a negative risk reward here. Do not crucify me. But it is a no news Monday, and that's ugly. It is a no news Monday, and I do not want to really expose myself to a whole lot of risk. Just want to get in and out. Hopefully that is what happens. Can't guarantee anything. We are very close to this external sell side, though. There we go. A lot of people say don't trade negative risk rewards. A lot of people say it's not the best. I don't usually trade negative risk rewards unless if it is, I have a reason to. Like I said, no news Monday. We're very close to sell side. A lot of times when you have no news Mondays, when they do have any type of volume or volatility, you'll see a move happen. This move, which is, the move right here, you'll see a pretty volatile move happen. However, once that move does happen, once it's finished, once you do take the objective, which very much so could be this overall 4-hour low right here, this very much could be the objective. Once we take that, price will barcode and chop and do whatever else for the rest of the day, specifically on no news Mondays. So that is why I am fine with taking a negative risk to reward right there. We do have this 4-hour low right here, so I will just see if we do end up going to hit that. So we probably will, but we also could just sit and, like, you look at where I took my profit at. Look at what happened. Starting to move around. I would have got stopped out on that. So I like to play to where I should not. I just like to eliminate as much risk for myself as possible, if that makes sense. Just being smart, being patient, and as you can see, like I just said, we like to sit around, go back and forth, and barcode. It's exactly what we're doing. So crucify me if you want. It makes money. It will make you money. It makes me money. We can all be happy if you just apply common sense, apply logic, and don't listen to what everybody says all the time. Not everybody's correct. I might not even be right all the time, but use your own judgment. Trade this at your discretion. all that good stuff. So we're kind of in a basically the same spot as yesterday is what it's looking like. We just reset this 15-minute low, projecting out of a 15-minute gap. A lot of buy side up here, so probably going to be bullish. I would probably want to see higher. We did have a 30 data with high resting above. Definitely probably going to see higher. For me to really see higher though, see if we can get through this 3-minute. I don't like the S&T at the highs, but we do still have a lot of buy side to go and attack. So let's see if we can get that. We're now trading into this 5-minute, so I would like to wait and see whether or not this 5-minute does get closed through. Now, I could enter long here, very much so, especially after we just got the change in the state out of the 15-minute. Actually, I think I will. Based off of time frame alignment, if you know the 15-minute and the 1-minute are in alignment, and basically inclining that this should be valid based off the fact that we are coming out of a 15-minute gap. We have a lot of sell side above us. ES is also quite close to its sell side or buy side, so I'm gonna enter this as well. Regular size stop loss will be at this low. We will see how it goes from there. I'm honestly probably going to take off a majority at this 930 high, depending on whether or not ES takes it. So we'll see here. ES did take that high. I would like to see NQ start to pick up in this direction. I'm probably going to mitigate my risk a little bit here. We are respecting this 1-minute, and NQ is starting to really just sideways, which is not the best look, but we'll see how it goes. Trade isn't fully invalid yet. That is a pretty good look from the market. There we go. There we go. Kind of stressful with that trade, but you just trust yourself. You trust the market. Move your hands off and let it do what it's going to do. You're already at, damn it, 30 minutes. So how many trades have I taken so far with this session? That is essentially it, though. Very simple. Let's go over. Why can I not see the trades I've taken? Oops. So far, we're actually on a pretty nice winning streak, just based off of using common sense, logic, and lower risk to rewards. And as you can see, it has been paying off, and I advise you to do the same. But yeah, that is it though. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. I'm gonna call it right there. We took 4 wins in a row. I'm fine with that. We'll catch you on the next one. Y'all have a blessed rest of y'all day. Y'all be safe, and hope you guys did enjoy. Thank you for watching. Peace out.